things that we need to do. And her being a professional, she knows, like, you gotta fill out those forms. We are helping people on journeys to get to that next destination, whatever that may be. Not knowing where to begin is the biggest part of failure because you stand stuck. Mm-hmm. So we're giving you a starting point. But you have to trust the process. I'm Renee. Hey, I'm Anna. And I'm Leslie. And we are the trio.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for being here. Today, we're doing a post Thanksgiving checkup. So, welcome. I'm Anna, and I'm joined by Leslie and Renee. And we're just going through the holidays, caregiving as the holidays roll in, sets a tone. So, let's do that Thanksgiving checkup and see how it went. Did the tips we give you work out? Um, did your mindset shift? Leslie, Renee, how was Thanksgiving for you guys?
Hey, Anna. Thanksgiving was great. I will say, from a standpoint, we did things a little differently. Um, Visiting someone who is being that is receiving caregiving services, and adjusting so that we all could be present in their space. So it was really great to do that.
And Hannah, yeah, this Thanksgiving was different for me as a caregiver, because everybody went out of town, and everybody went out of town, and I opted to stay home, and was different. Just, being on my own, very quiet, but I had company, and I shared meals with friends, and they shared meals with me. I mean, there is a beauty to receive those packed meals also. So I was a recipient of. I got. I think I was home like 4 days on my own, and I got a meal every one of those days. Someone packed a meal, or I went and I spent a little bit of time and received a meal to take home. And so I will say, keep packing those meals for people, like as a caregiver or a recipient. It means something. I know one of the meals, it was like a humongous tinfoil, so it could last like 3 days. It wasn't just like a 1 day plate. And when I opened it, I mean, it was packed with care, right? They took time to make sure stuff didn't run over into the other stuff. And everything that probably was at their Thanksgiving table, the cornbread to the deviled eggs, or the angel eggs as
Oh,
people
that's
call
awesome.
it. They had everything in there, and I just had a moment, like, oh, I mean, I actually sent her a message and say, I mean, I felt the love
Mm.
as I opened the pack, the foil, you know what I'm saying? And so, if we think that serving others is, maybe they don't care, or we just throw something together. No, put your packet with love. It matters. It matters. So yeah, so Thanksgiving was different, but it was a good different. It was fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was also different for me because this year was the first year I decided I wasn't going to cook because I felt burnt out. And in the past, with the things that we've been discussing, in the past, definitely would have felt guilty about not stepping up and cooking. But this year, it was very different. I missed the cooking, but I needed the rest. And
Mm.
there was plenty of food that came my way. So I was happy that I didn't have to do the work.
Good for you.
And I will add, so one of the individuals who is the caregiver that we had Thanksgiving with, he takes care of three, his wife and two sisters, and
Okay.
they he and his wife worked to make sure that the space for um, his sisters that we were going to visit was welcoming for everybody. So he, as a caregiver, they did a lot of work ahead of time. Um, but it was joyful because we were able to come visit his sisters who could not get out. And
Mm,
so, and what we did, we all had dishes to bring. So it wasn't a heavy lift of everyone cooking, but it was just, you know, how precious time is for those that are receiving caregiving, that they had an opportunity to see families that they don't always see because they can't get out
mm,
the way they used to.
Yeah,
That was a
absolutely.
combination of teamwork. Who's preparing what dishes? How, you know, what do we need to bring? Is there anything else you need? Um, to the point of us, you talked about how things were packed. The point of how we were packing the our food items to take there. We had to
mm.
load a wagon, put things in there, so you had to be strategic. But the overall essence was we were all together and allowing each other. Some people hadn't seen the younger kids, so that was a plus. So
Yeah.
it's it was really good, and you realize how precious time is. Even as a caregiver, um, my brother-in-law, he looked relaxed. It was like we're all here, we're all having dinner together. So those are the takeaways, that planning, structuring it, so it's all not one heavy lift on one person, but we're coming together as a team.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean that's so beautiful. The fact that he was in a place where he was comfortable to say, I want to host, but everybody needs to pitch in and it would be great. And everyone stepped up. That's a beautiful dynamic because, some of us, we need to do everything ourselves. I'm going to do everything, and we're burnt out. We're dropping things. We're having panic attacks, and everything comes out beautiful, but we don't get to enjoy it. This way, he was able to enjoy. He did a lot of prep, but in the moment in time, he was able to be present, and that's what the holidays are about: is being present with your loved ones.
Yep, that is it. That is it. Uh, and we'll just continue to take tips. So we hope that you listeners, you know, what tips did you receive? Like Anna decided not to cook. Um, that might have been your situation. It's okay. It is okay because you had your health and your uh, mental state is important to take care of, because there's a lot of responsibilities that you already have. So the pressures of the holidays, our goal is for you to be empowered to release some of those pressures.
And I would like to also say that there is mental pressure. Just
Mhm.
like that, our imagination. Like for me, the night before, like everyone was catching the flight on Thanksgiving Day. So, but the night before, like felt like that anxiousness, like
Mhm.
anxiety, and I was praying about it. I was like, I mean, I'm not scared to be by myself. I'm talking myself off of this thing. Like, what is that? And I mean, our imagination, having to, and if you don't practice a day in your new life, right? If you don't practice what you would like things to look like, if you don't practice taking all those steps of what is the worst thing that can happen, like if just kind of like going through all the steps until you get to the light.
Mhm.
And for me, it was like I knew that I was going to be spending this time um on my own. I needed that, but I also needed to, I didn't know how to even, I hadn't spent that time reimagining what that would look like. I knew some friends might come by. I knew I had some invitations, but I probably, just to kind of take the anxiety off, hindsight is 2020.
Mhm.
So my
Yeah.
2020 is saying next time or the next thing, I'm going to imagine a little bit more what that could look like. I think it helps just calming your nerves and
Mm-hmm.
just, we're saying like, oh my god, the holidays, they're the worst, they're terrible, they're this, they're that. And I had there was a in my mind, I had some things that I thought I probably could do this. I can clean this up or fix this, or I'm going to have a little bit more clarity. And I didn't have a lot of stuff on my schedule. So I think I will say the mental exercise is going to be important too. I don't want to take that's just something that I
Absolutely.
think I would put out there as a tip is to do some mental exercises. Like imagine what your day can look like. And if your imagination is that you're on the floor crying all day and it's going to be terrible, nobody's going to visit. Okay, that was a nightmare. Don't that
I
is not
love that.
that is not it. That's not what we're imagining for ourselves. Let's
Right.
be we want to be kind to ourselves. We want to
Yes.
so then you do it again. You do it again and you imagine, okay, I'm going to be able to you take bite size. What is it could be just like a good cup of coffee, and it can be your favorite robe. Like just take baby steps, but don't leave yourself at the nightmare is all I'm going to say. Go ahead until there's light in that day.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Let that nightmare play out, but don't let it end. Right? Like
Exactly.
sometimes you get up from a dream and then you go back to bed and you pick up. Well, pick up in a new place and put in some light so that you're moving forward. I love that. That is such a great tip. We don't think about these things. We imagine everything else in life but what we want for ourselves. And that's a awesome tip. Don't stay stuck in the nightmare. I love that.
Yes.
You
So
know, oh,
we're,
go ahead, Leslie.
I was going to say, so we're preparing for December, right? And
Yeah,
thinking
Yes.
forward, because we wanted to, the holidays continue through January. Um, so, a few tips that we can share about preparing for December. This
Yeah.
is all putting it in your mind of what we're discussing. So, the planning, what do you want? Like Renee said, what is it that you want it to be like? Um, there could be some low cost things that you might want to do with your loved ones or for yourself. It might be your time to say, hey, that's going to be my respite. And
yeah,
X number family person, please take care of mom or dad, or mom or dad or the loved one goes somewhere else
Yeah.
so that you have that space. Uh, what are local supporters, things that churches may offer, or senior centers may offer, or community centers that you can take advantage of so that you are not just in the normal, we have to do the Christmas, but make it be creative. Just think of something you really want to do for yourself or your loved one, and come at it at a different angle because we don't have to have this same status quo. New traditions uh, that make you something you always wanted to do, that you can make that dream come true because it's December the 6th, so you have time to plan for that.
yeah.
Um,
Identifying those stress points.
mhm,
Don't let them pile up. You feel it's a stress point, acknowledge it and address it. Stress points are just indicators of what we like and don't like.
mhm,
So you don't have, again, like Renee just, you don't have to stay in it. If you identify it and know what it means, you can move forward from there. And I think that's so important because sometimes we build this level of stress with our mind
Yeah.
and it turns out to be nothing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're in December, early part of December, and we want um this month we want to end kind of go through this month with awareness of ourselves, spiritually, mentally, and physically is the
Mm-hmm.
order that we
Yeah.
say. We want to be aware of and take a checkup on those areas of our life so that we can go through this time. And why are we saying this season in particular up to the new year into January, actually, because people are already taking commercials about the Happy New Year and the New Year
Yeah.
service. And are they having it early at 6 o'clock? Are they having it at night? Like, there's so many different things that could cause anxiety for you. That's why we want you to stay in tune with yourself spiritually. Have you sat with the Lord today? And well, let's just go with today. Have you
Mm-hmm.
sat with him? Have you
Yes.
sat with him today? Have you spent any moments, even if it's a walk, because you're, and I don't want to, you not, no judgment. It could be a walk to the bathroom. Just
Yep.
as you are
Absolutely.
right, as you
Right.
are heading into the kitchen to prepare breakfast, or wherever, if in this moment you are listening to this, and we are saying, have you spent any time with
Mm-hmm.
yourself? Have you taken a moment to take that deep breath? Because you may have been rushing between, if you're a caregiver of one or multiples. You could already, by whatever time it is in your part of your neck of the woods, as someone used to say, um, you could have done multiple things at this point. What I'm going to say is encourage you to look for that window of taking a moment for yourself. Check in and
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, touch your, like, am I okay?
Right.
Because you've been
Yes.
so busy
Tap
reaching out
yourself.
to somebody else. Yeah, you've reached out to someone else.
Absolutely.
You've prepared. You've rolled a couple wheelchairs. You may have gotten someone in bed or out of bed, changed sheets, washed a load of clothes. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's check the arms. Let's see. I put lotion on this morning? Like, do
Right.
a
That's a real
personal,
thing.
do I
That's a
have it wrong? Like, for anybody that listens, not okay, I'm not trying to be offensive, but I'm just saying, let's do a serious, like, there's lots of days that I've said the hair did not even, nothing got done.
mm-hmm.
And whatever you
Absolutely.
come up with after you do that physical check on yourself, then you can hug yourself. I mean, it might sound phony and fake, but just think about you in a very safe way, just giving yourself some sweetness,
Yes. Yep.
right?
Yes.
We
Absolutely.
don't do it. Remind yourself that you are a person, that you are physically, there's blood running warm in your body. They say it, but I think the old people used to say, when I was younger, they used to say, when they would thank the Lord for the day, thank you for waking me up with the blood running warm in my body.
Yep.
I'm here. I'm alive.
Mm-hmm.
I have an opportunity to face a new day. What about you guys?
And I'll say that one, I was thinking about caregivers that I was thinking about people that are were caregivers earlier this year and aren't caregivers now, and the emotions of the spaces of
Yeah.
emptiness, um, sadness. Those are real feelings. And so as the holidays come about, it's really just little times, like you said, taking those little moments to just check yourself, feel your emotions, and then, Lord, what is a desire that I need, that I want to do for myself today in moving forward to the holidays? I know there's going to be sadness, but let me look at what are some of the joys that my wife might have provided me, or my brother might have provided me, that is no longer here, because that can be a lonely space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
um, and that's why I talked about new activities or traditions or going somewhere different, um, as leading up to, not just when Christmas gets here, but this month of just taking in those joys, taking in things that you hadn't thought about. That quiet time, let the Lord just lead you. So because we want to encourage you as much as possible. It's this journey is highs and lows. So in
Mhm.
those low spaces, how do we come up to receive the emotions, but also work through them? And if you have to partner with somebody, say, hey, call me this week. Let's go to lunch. Call me and check on me. It might be a couple of people so that I'm engaged and I'm not just by myself. So I that was coming up in my spirit as we were talking about this, because that's there. It's important to to discuss and feel it, work through it. If there's grief counseling that you need to go through, it's important. It helps, um, so that you can feel fortified and work through it and move through it.
I love that. I love that.
Those are such great tips. And the best place to start is always with God.
Mm-hmm.
We think it's there's no answers, but God answers in real time. Start with God. Acknowledge who you are. It's okay. It's okay to say this year it will be different. It's okay to ask for help, because sometimes people see you're not okay, but they don't want to intrude and they're waiting for you to ask. And
Mm-hmm.
it's important that you ask because, sometimes it's a little touchy.
Oh yeah.
You
Absolutely.
have to give that space. I might know you need that help, but I also know you like your privacy. So I'm not going to just interject because I know who you are, and and let go of the notions that people are not going to check up on you. It's about how you establish your relationships. And being a caregiver does not mean you become isolated. It does not mean you are just stuck in this one role, because sometimes it feels like you're stuck. Being a caregiver, yes, this is an added heavy component because caregiving is a lot, but you
Right.
should still keep alive. You
Yeah.
shouldn't just stop talking to people. You shouldn't stop going places. You shouldn't stop, sending out text messages. You still have to keep that life
Absolutely.
going, because you feel it more during the holidays. During any other time of the year, oh, I'm getting through it and I have
Right.
to take care of this.
Yeah.
But the
Mm-hmm.
holiday comes and it brings a new feeling. And
Yes.
you begin to feel isolated because you didn't communicate with people. And people might feel like you just didn't want to be bothered. So keep lines of communication open and keep that loving community around you. The holidays are not meant to be spent alone, but it's not just the holidays, right?
Exactly.
Life is not meant to be spent alone. That's why
Right.
God created a helpmate, two people to go through things together. And fortunately for us now, with technology and how vast the world has grown, we are able to have multiple people in our world to help us through. So you're not stuck, but don't create that bubble where you don't let anybody else in either. So be open. Again, we're here because we've done caregiving. We've taken on these extra assignments. We all celebrate holidays and we have a lot of things going on in our world, but we are learning not to let it be a defeatist moment, because with time we realize time is short. And like 2025 for me, I don't know about the rest of you, is a blur. I saw
Yeah.
January and now I am literally in December. I don't know what happened the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Things happen, but it's like, wow, I am really at the end of 2025. So when you have that community, when you are open, life is a little bit better. We're not saying it's going to be all flowers but you're not alone. You're not isolated, and you feel the love. You know it exists because there's a dialogue, there's communication, and people are checking. So I think it's beautiful to start with yourself, and we're often the ones who isolate ourselves from others. So start
Right.
with yourself. Like Renee said, that check,
Yeah.
yeah, it starts with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um. what I would say is one of I've okay, let me see what's going on here. We might have to mute you. You might have to mute yourself, not just take yourself off. Okay. Um, what I was gonna say is, as far as what you just said about just checking in spiritually and taking that, um, the things are different. I was thinking about today being December 6th, and that it that giving ourselves time to prepare for things, before we need them, is very, very key. And I like to, it helps me sometimes, which in my mind, God will remind me of something that's happening through 6 or 7 months, 6 or 7 weeks away from today, or something that I already had on my calendar that's going to happen in a month or so. And it reminds me, it's almost like, for me, it's his way of reminding me that you're going to be okay. You're going to make it to that appointment. You're going to be here and I'm no one knows the day or the hour. We know that is true, but we're talking about giving ourselves hope and finding, tools that are in our own toolbox. I'm saying that dentist appointment that you made for January, the second week in January, or that, um girls, coffee night that you made for some time so what helps me is to go beyond the said date. Dun, 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 dun. Like, it's, you know this,
Yes.
it's December 24th, it's December 25th, it's that week, that time during that. And I can take myself, and I don't take credit for it, but taking myself beyond that date, even if it's something like we talked about, loss and things being so tragically different this year. Like, a lot of people talked about, like, who's at your table, who's not at your table this during
Mhm.
holidays. And so for me, I had two great presents at my table. Like, it was their table. We kind of served around the table, but one sat on one end, the other one sat on the other end of this cute little round table. It was their table, and we got to serve them. And this year, no one sat at the table. We are still here though. So I was able to dig in, and I found, like, and this is not for everybody. This is just, I didn't plan it. It's just what happened is I found one of my mom's old Christmas, what are those things you put on the table? Tablecloths, which we don't
Tablecloths.
even use that much anymore. But I found,
Mhm.
like, her old, like, thick, and it had it was red. She used to use it, decorate for Christmas, and I put that on their little table. And I found, like, a tiny Christmas tree, and I didn't go buy it. It was in this my storage stuff, and I put the little Christmas tree on. Then I found, like, a tiny little skirt that was in my Christmas. Obviously, I got some Christmas stuff, not a lot, but just a few pieces, and I was able to make their table
Mhm.
very sweet. Right? It's not their table, but it's their table. And
Mhm.
so, it by being present and by thinking ahead and giving yourself hope, you make space for what's right in
Yeah.
front of you. That
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
right in front of me, and I didn't think, let me make a symbolic. I didn't think any of that. I just did what came up. And if
Yeah,
we're
you made space for healing.
and what did you say?
You made space for healing.
Yes, yes. And it so
That's so
it's work.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
work.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate you for doing that. And
Yeah.
when we're, thinking back to that is so special and sweet, Renee. And when you're thinking back to Thanksgiving, look at what worked. What were those tips that worked for you, with a change mindset? And how can I incorporate that plus more when I'm going forward? There's something you did, you can share it, with us in a chat somewhere or later on, but the reflection, and then how can I now move forward a little bit more for myself in this state that I'm in. So it, there's so much, but we just, this is just things that we wanted to share.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I do want to do a moment in my little corner, that 1 minute segment. Today it's not so much as a rant, but it's a loving tip. Show up for yourself. It's important to show up for yourself. Stop looking for others to show up for you, because no one will know how to show up for you until you show up for yourself. Everything that somebody else is doing to show up for you will never have true meaning, true value, or true impact until you show up for yourself. So you start loving yourself. And Renee said it so beautifully when she said, ask yourself, am I okay? Am I here?
Mhm.
That's where it starts. We're present for a reason, and that loving peace extends from you. And even if you pour all your love into somebody else, it's not fully felt because you didn't pour any into yourself.
To yourself.
So that's the tip that I want to give. It's not a rant, but a loving tip.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. I feel like hugging myself on that one.
You
Yes,
know
that
what? We
works.
should.
Yes,
Oh, you
works.
know what? This
Everybody, just
actually
give
feels
yourself
good. It
Yeah,
feels good.
it works.
Oh,
It works.
it works.
It
Mm-hmm.
does.
It what? I felt cozy.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
felt cozy. You see, just it feels, saying it out loud sounds superficial, but it is a real thing.
It
Yeah.
is. The human
Yeah.
touch. The human
Absolutely. The human touch.
Yeah.
And you're using it as a caregiver. You're constantly, if you're, loving the people that you're with, whether you're pushing the wheelchair or you're helping to feed someone or preparing a meal, or, I mean, something that my dad constantly complimented mom about her hair, and so we all like
Mhm.
complimented her like,
Oh,
you're so cute, like she really was so cute and little. But I'm just saying, you're constantly giving that. The kids come in, you're just like, what did you do? You're listening to what they did, and
Mhm.
we're constantly
yes.
pouring out, even if it's someone on the phone, if we're texting, if we're talking to a doctor, whatever we're doing, we're giving, giving, giving. So it is good to us to be good to ourselves. And that's one of the things I think, Trio, I can say is that we're really big on encouraging
Yes.
individuals to love yourself and be present in your moment, because um if we don't take care of who we are when life changes,
Mhm.
and life
Yes.
will change, because the
It
word
sure
tells
will.
us that there's a time and a season.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
and this and I don't know where this is, but I know it's a song where Yolanda Adams says, "This too shall pass." But I know there's a whole list of different seasons and times to grieve, to laugh, to
Yes.
love. There's so many different seasons, but we do not have to die in each of those seasons or
Seasons
become. We have
Exactly.
we have to learn how to be,
to live in
to
the season.
live. I love
Yes.
that, Leslie.
To live in the
Yeah,
That's
season.
so well said.
yeah.
Mhm.
To live today, and you will be surprised if you choose to live today, what how God will keep you. He'll keep
Yep.
his hand on you, and
Absolutely.
you will feel kept.
In perfect peace.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Guys, can you believe we've been talking for about 30 minutes already? Wow. Listen, I feel like we could be here all day on this topic, especially since December is so packed with
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, but I can't believe we've been talking for 30 minutes, and it flew by. Again, time keeps moving. So I'm just going to ask you each to give us one takeaway to bring us closer to having a sane holiday this year.
I would say one takeaway, and the theme of yourself. But what did you learn? A takeaway is, What did you learn at Thanksgiving that you can increase or improve on as you're moving and preparing for whatever your tradition will be, um, or may not be, for Christmas? Is it you doing something for yourself and how you want, or envisioning what you want that to look like and planning and working towards it?
Yeah. For me, it would be make the phone call. Call to whoever, a friend, call a few friends and family members who you would like to show up. Don't assume they will show up, but ask them to show up for you. Either to call you around the holidays, let them know this is, have that phone call and say, you know what? I know we're getting close and I'm feeling that thing inside. Maybe you don't have words for it, but you can say, can you call me? Like maybe
Mm,
on Christmas Eve, that's usually was our day to do whatever. Maybe it's before then, but I encourage you, my words to us today is to make the call, send the text message, say,
mhm,
hey friend, are you going to be in town? Hey
mhm.
sis, are you going to be around? Come see me. And Pete, you will be surprised. I think Anna or someone else said it. People don't know where you are
Correct.
with your processes and what you're going through, but let them know. Take that veil off, that secret, and make it open in public to say you're open for company or you're open for conversation or you're open for a text that says, hey, I'm thinking about you. Today is the day you told me about, that you're open for community. So make the phone call.
Okay. I love that.
I love that. And what my takeaway will be is it's okay. Give yourself this permission to do things differently. Assess yourself. This is a time where we're supposed to grow spiritually even more because it is a season of giving, yes.
Mhm.
It's also a season of being true to who God created us to be. And it's not about the flares, it's not about the stresses that we add. Be be kind to yourself and do what you can do and make those changes that will make you better for yourself and better for your loved ones. Because sometimes when we're stressing over things and we think we have to do so much, we're not kind and it's not received with love. So give yourself that permission to make the necessary changes and not feel guilty about it. You
Absolutely.
know, this was a great topic. I think next week we'll have another session on caregiving through the holidays. The month of December is really heavy, it's packed. There's a lot going on, but don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. We're here. Um, Go back, do the replays where like and subscribe and share from YouTube. You can always reach out in our email and send a message if you have a question. We're willing to answer questions, and we want you to know that in this holiday season, changes are great. You're not alone, and you are loved because you were put here out of love. No matter the story is you have in your mind, you were created out of love from God. And that's where it always starts. So, ladies, I think this is it for us today.
Yes.
Until next time,
Yes, join us again. Love you all.
take care. Thank you.
Follow the trio on Facebook.